Show your wife this video. Tell her one handgun isn't enough. True with Guns America, and I hope you guys thought that was as ridiculous as I did, but today we're going to go over one of the most common questions I get asked when I teach concealed carry classes. So for those of you that don't know who I am a professional shooter. I'm the editor for Guns America. I'm an attorney. I have both defended self-defense cases as well as prosecuted them. And I want to talk about why you need more than one handgun today and how that plays into your safety, your confidence, and your ability to protect yourself and your family. So the mistake that most people make is assuming that they can buy one handgun and have it cover all of their needs, and it's most likely that that will not be the case. For example, a full-size handgun has some huge advantages for home defense, meaning bigger magazines that hold more rounds, longer sight radius, longer barrels, ability to attach things like suppressors, muzzle brakes, bigger red dots on bigger size guns, lights and lasers, and then not only that, but bigger handguns are easier to control the recoil on. The more mass there is here and the more weight, the less recoil that gets transferred into your hands and when you're shooting the gun. So better sights, just better overall shooting experience with a full-size handgun. The downside with a full-size handgun though is that it's harder to conceal. Bigger, heavier, harder to put enough clothes on in order to do this. It's really set up for more duty use, open carry, in an outside the waistband holster, something that most of us aren't going to want to do every single day. Concealed carry handguns are smaller, much smaller. We have got great options for these things, but they have some, and the upsides are for these is that they're small, they're light, they're easy to conceal, they disappear in pockets and in holsters around our waistband or body. We can carry without even knowing that we have them on our body. The downside to smaller concealed carry pistols is that they don't have as long a service life, meaning they're not, that these small guns beat themselves up. They're not rated for as many rounds from the factory. There's less distance between the sights, there's less sight radius, there's more recoil. The red dots that mount on them are smaller, it's a smaller window, they're hard to shoot well. You're more limited on options for lights and lasers. You're limited in capacity on magazines. So there's a trade-off. So inside your house, or open carrying, you want a big one. For concealed carry and everyday carry, you want a small one. So redundancy means that you have a backup, you have a plan in place if something happens. So just like we showed in this video at the beginning that was kind of ridiculous, is all those guns going down. That would be a really bad day, by the way, but you want a backup. So in case your full-size gun goes down, you want a smaller, or you want a backup. I, as a prosecutor, encourage my cops to carry a backup. They have their primary gun on their hip. It's a great idea for them to have a secondary hidden somewhere out of sight. Same thing in your house. If you have somebody trying to break into your home, it's great to be able to arm yourself with your full-size handgun and give your spouse or your child or somebody else your backup concealed carry gun should something go wrong. So training with both a full-size and a compact can make you a better shooter overall. It's kind of like learning how to drive different vehicles, makes you a better driver overall. Same sort of theory here with having two separate handguns. So in self-defense situations, anytime I had the choice, I knew I was actually going to have to use my gun, I would rather have a full-size gun. Anytime that's possible. And I would rather have it decked out with a red dot, and a big flashlight, and a big long extended mag. However, we don't ever know when a self-defense scenario is going to come about, and so we're much more likely to be carrying this gun. But given the choice, I'm always going to choose this one. It's easier, better to shoot. In theory, it's going to last longer and be more reliable. So it's important before you go buy a gun to do some research and decide what brand and line you're going to stick with. My recommendation is buy the same brand and line of handgun for the full size as well as the compact. That way you're not training with a different grip angle, your controls are going to be similar, you're not learning a whole new manual of arms for different handguns. So for example, this is an FN 509. And the trigger, controls, grip angle are also very similar to this little FN Reflex. I have the ability to put red dots on both of them, lights on both of them, extended mags on both of them, and there's lots of options out there besides FN, but these are both really good options for a full size and a carry gun. But look for a brand or a line that allows you to stay consistent. When it comes to caliber, everybody has an opinion on this, but I'm going to recommend 9mm to the majority of watchers here all day long, and for a number of reasons. You're going to fit more ammo in the magazine. This FN 509 extended mag holds 24 rounds, so 24 plus 1, that's a lot of firepower. 9mm is a higher velocity round. Most factory ammo is going over 1,200 feet per second. It's the same diameter bullet as a 357. Well, technically a 357 is .357 and 9mm is .355. It is a round that's chosen by NATO, so our military and our allies around the world use 9mm. Recently, the FBI has decided to switch all of their agents over to 9. It's the cheapest and most available practice and self-defense ammo available. Now, that being said, if you've already got a 45 or a 40, by all means, and you shoot them well, there's no reason to switch. Same thing if you don't like recoil and you've got some 380s, well, then stick with 380s. I'm not suggesting you switch anything, but if you're just getting started, 9 is definitely where it's at. Now, it's really important when we talk about your two guns that you're going to buy, your concealed and your full size. These should be the same caliber, so don't buy one of these in 45 and one in 380. Having them both be the same caliber means it's easier to store ammo, to stock up on ammo, to have ammo that works for you. It's redundancy, it makes storage easier. It's just all around an advantage to keep your calibers to a minimum if you can. Before you go make this purchase, it's important to take a look at your budget. I see people spend too much money on their two handguns, not leave enough money for training, classes, and ammo. So you can do a lot with little if you're wise and careful about how you spend your money, but you certainly want to look at where you're going to get the best bang for your buck. Because I can't emphasize enough how important it is to train. There's lots of people that own guns that really have no business ever using them because they haven't trained, they haven't practiced. It's not only unsafe for themselves, but for other people around them. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you take some time, take a class, and then make sure you got scheduled time and budget for practicing, for getting some rounds through your gun and making sure that you're competent, that you're safe, and you're getting those reps in. So not only have you got to spend money on guns, you got to spend money on ammo and training, and then you're also going to need to accessorize these. Now, a couple things to future-proof your gun. First of all, do not buy a handgun in today's world that does not have an ability to mount an optic on it. It's expensive to go get this done, and your gun isn't going to hold its value if it doesn't have that. So make sure that you can have the ability to put an optic on it like you can on this 509 and on this reflex. You're going to want this as we get older, our eyes age. Even if you shoot well with irons right now, red dot is the future of handguns. They just continue to get better. So that's the first thing I would do, is put a red dot on the full-size gun, and I'd go out and get some reps. It takes some practice to do that. Dry fire is a great option for all of your practicing, but make sure you're getting some reps in with that. Cool thing about this is it's threaded, so you could put a muzzle brake on the end of it, which reduces recoil, or if you want to, you could put a suppressor. I have some handgun suppressors. I enjoy shooting with them inside your house. They're awesome, but they're obviously not going to fit inside a holster. You're going to need an outside the waistband holster for this. Way to keep it here on your hip when you're hiking. Keep it protected from kids that might want to touch it or something like that. You know, obviously you want to keep that stuff out of their reach anyway, but a holster is kind of a last line of defense. So red dot, lots of good brands: Holosun, Sig, Trijicon, Leupold, Vortex. Stick with a name brand optic that's got a warranty. Recoil is hard on red dots and they can break, so keep that in mind. You want to make sure that the company will stand behind it. Then this gun has what's called a Picatinny rail. It's these slots down here in the bottom, and they allow you to mount a weapon light. Once again, you don't want to go buy some cheap junk from China that doesn't have any company standing behind it, because recoil is hard on lights as well. So I'm a huge fan of the Streamlight TLR1 lights. Surefire also makes some great lights. There's a few other up-and-coming companies that are coming, but you don't have to spend a fortune on this, but just buy something high quality. It's worth it, in my opinion, to buy an extra 1 or 2 extended mags. Like I mentioned before, this is a 24-round mag for this FN 509. You can see here how far it sticks out of the gun, but in your house, next to your, sitting on the headboard of your bed, who cares? Gives you a lot of extra firepower should you need it. So that's basically how I would set up this 509 for home defense. red dot light, extended mags, maybe a suppressor or a muzzle brake. As far as concealed carry goes, everybody's got preferences on holsters, but this gun is one of the best options for concealed carry on the market. It's the FN Reflex. Believe it or not, this is not striker fired, it's hammer fired, and because it's hammer fired, it has one of the best triggers, period. So small guns are hard to shoot, and when you have a crappy trigger, it makes them even harder yet. It's got night sight here on the front, which is awesome. It's set up for a red dot. Once again, do not buy a handgun that is not set up for a red dot in today's day and age. It does have one slot here for mounting a light. Your options are even more limited on these concealed carry guns because you need something that's small enough to still fit in holsters. So you're going to buy the light first. So something like a Streamlight TLR7 sub, I believe, is a model that would fit this. And then you're going to have to find a holster that will fit the handgun with a light on it. If you buy the holster first and don't get it with the light model, you're going to end up putting a light on this, and then your handgun won't fit. So the other option here is extended mag. It comes with this FN Reflex. It gives you a couple more rounds. So this one holds 14 plus 1, so you get 15 rounds in here. That's still a lot of capacity in a tiny little lightweight gun like this. You're going to have to try some different holsters to find out what you like. When I wear a suit, I have to use a different holster than when I wear jeans. I rarely use ankle holsters because I don't like having to bend over to get to the gun. Not a huge fan of under the shoulder holsters because, let's be honest, we sweat on them and it's rough on the gun and the ammo and the optic to be constantly in that humid environment with sweat, salt water, that kind of thing. So I actually prefer either appendix or right here about 3 o'clock on my hip is where I prefer to concealed carry, but you're going to need to try some holsters and see what fits you. That would be my recommendations on how to set these up for concealed carry and home defense or everyday carry and use. All right, so in the end, having two guns tailored for specific purposes means that you're going to have better home defense options or better home defense setup and better options for carrying when you're out and about. If you invest wisely and buy high quality guns and gear, you'll be set for a lifetime of self-defense, protecting your friends or family from those that might wish you harm. You can do it with one gun, but you're going to be compromising on both ends. It won't be as easy to conceal, and it won't be as good in a home defense situation. One thing you got to watch out for is becoming like me and having way too many of both kinds. So really, you just need two. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next Guns America video.